Be me, Jake, 34, software engineer, making $95,000 a year in Denver. Own my car, rent a nice one-bedroom in Capitol Hill. I'm not the kind of guy who ignores red flags, or at least I wasn't supposed to be. Stephanie walked into my life 10 months ago on Hinge. She was 28, worked as a floral designer at this upscale wedding venue downtown, always posting these artsy photos of centerpieces and bouquets on Instagram. 12,000 followers. Vintage dresses, film camera photos, captions about creating beauty in a chaotic world, and knowing your worth. I thought she was out of my league. The first 2 months were incredible. She'd send me photos of arrangements she was working on, show up at my place with wine and homemade pasta, talk about how refreshing it was to date a stable guy with his life together after her ex. Then month 3 hit, and she needed space to focus on herself. We barely saw each other for about 6 weeks, maybe had sex twice during that whole period. She was posting constantly though. Gym selfies, girls' nights, solo coffee shop shots with captions like learning to fill my own cup. My buddy Mike said she was collecting a provider, not building a relationship, but I brushed him off. She came back around in month 5, more attentive than ever, and by month 7, she was pushing hard for me to meet her parents. Last Tuesday, she showed up at my apartment unannounced. I was making dinner, and she had this weird energy, excited but nervous. She sat on my couch and just blurted it out. "I'm pregnant." I dropped the spatula. "You're what?" "Pregnant. 8 months. 8 months." My brain immediately started doing math. We'd been together for 10 months. Total. 8 months pregnant meant conception around exactly during that I need space period when we barely touched each other. Wait, how? I mean, we weren't really. Surprise pregnancies happen, Jake. Her voice had this defensive edge already. I didn't know until a few weeks ago. I thought I was just stressed with work. My periods have always been irregular. 8 months and you didn't know? Some women don't show much, and I've been busy. God, can you not interrogate me right now? I sat down next to her. I'm just trying to understand the timeline. She rolled her eyes. This is exactly the kind of toxic male reaction I was afraid of. My body, my experience. You don't get to question how I experience my own pregnancy. I let it go. She stayed over that night, scrolling through Pinterest, saving nursery ideas. The next morning, I drove her to her OB appointment. She'd already had a few without telling me. The waiting room was full of couples, men holding their girlfriends' hands, rubbing their backs. I felt like an imposter. When we got into the ultrasound room, the tech, this older woman named Linda, squeezed the gel onto Stephanie's stomach and started moving the wand around. The baby appeared on screen, and I felt this weird rush of emotion. A whole person. Potentially my daughter. But something was off. Linda kept glancing at Stephanie, then at me, then back at the screen. She did that thing where medical professionals get really carefully neutral. "Everything looks healthy," Linda said, measuring things on the screen. "Good size, good heartbeat." "Can you tell what she'll look like?" Stephanie asked, not looking at me. "Well, bone structure is developing nicely. Facial features are forming." Another glance at me. "Every baby's unique." I stared at the screen. Something about the bone structure, the way the profile looked. It didn't match either of us. I tried to shake it off. Babies all look weird on ultrasounds, right? After the appointment, we sat in my car in the parking lot. Stephanie was texting someone. Her mom, she said. "Hey," I started carefully. I was thinking, just as a formality, maybe we should do a paternity test. Not because I don't trust you, just because it's like standard practice nowadays, and her head snapped toward me so fast I thought she'd hurt her neck. "Are you fucking serious right now?" "I'm just saying." "You're just saying you don't trust me, after everything. After I just showed you our daughter on a screen?" Her voice was rising. An older couple walking past the car looked over. "Stephanie, I'm not saying..." "This is typical male insecurity. You know what this is? This is misogyny. You don't own my body, Jake. You don't get to police my experience or demand proof like I'm on trial. That's not what I'm... Real partners don't do this. Real men don't question the mother of their child. Do you know how insulting this is? How dehumanizing? She was crying now, or doing that thing where she looked like she was about to cry. I felt like a complete asshole. I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to... Take me home. Steph, take me home. I drove her to her apartment in silence. She slammed the car door and didn't look back. That night, she texted me a screenshot of an article titled, "Why Demanding Paternity Tests is Emotional Abuse." No other message, just the screenshot. I sat on my couch, staring at my phone. My brother had warned me early on. Dude, she's got red flags all over her Instagram. The healing from trauma stuff, the know your worth captions, that's code for I take zero accountability. I'd laughed it off then. Now, alone in my apartment, I pulled up a calculator app. Conception date, gestation period, the timeline of when we were barely together. The math didn't work. It just didn't work. But everyone would call me a monster for saying it out loud. I texted Mike, "We need to talk." He replied immediately, "Finally?" 2 weeks later, Stephanie went into labor. She'd been staying with her mom Carol since our fight, but she texted me when contractions started. "Baby's coming. Room 412 at Presbyterian if you want to meet your daughter." I drove there doing 80 on I-25, hands shaking on the wheel. Whatever doubts I had, there was a baby being born. Maybe mine. I had to be there. The delivery room was chaos, nurses moving fast, Stephanie screaming, Carol holding her hand and shooting me death glares. I stood in the corner like a piece of furniture. 3 hours later, the baby came out. She was beautiful, tiny, screaming, perfect, and she looked absolutely nothing like me. I have blue eyes, Stephanie has green, this baby had dark brown eyes, nearly black. My hair is dirty blonde, Stephanie's is light brown. This baby had a full head of dark, almost black hair. And her skin tone, a few shades darker than both of ours. Not dramatically, but noticeably. The nurse weighed her, wrapped her up, handed her to Stephanie. Carol immediately started taking photos. "She's gorgeous, honey." Absolutely gorgeous. I stood there, frozen. "Jake." Stephanie's voice was soft, exhausted. "Come meet her." I walked over, looked down at this tiny person. She was perfect. Absolutely perfect. "They're going to bring the birth certificate form soon," Stephanie said, eyes on the baby. "For you to sign." My stomach dropped. "Steph, I need to talk to you about something." Carol's head whipped toward me. "Now? Seriously? Before I sign anything official, I think we should do a paternity test." The room went silent, except for the baby's little sounds. Stephanie's face transformed, pure rage. "Get out. Steph, get out. Get out of this room right now." Carol stood up, putting herself between me and the bed. "You need to leave. Now. I'm not trying to abandon anyone. I just need to be sure before I sign legal documents that you are abandoning us." Stephanie was sobbing now, clutching the baby. "You're standing here, looking at your daughter and calling me a liar." "I'm not calling you. Every man in this hospital is signing birth certificates right now. Every man is stepping up for their family, but not you, because you're a coward." A nurse peeked in, concerned. "Is everything okay?" "He's leaving," Carol said firmly. I looked at Stephanie one more time. She wouldn't meet my eyes. "I'll be at home if you want to talk," I said quietly. "But I'm not signing without a test." I walked out to a chorus of unbelievable and piece of shit from Carol. By the time I got to my car, my phone was blowing up. A group chat I didn't recognize. Stephanie's friends, Ashley, Bree, and Morgan, plus people I'd never met. Ashley. "Can't believe you abandoned them at the hospital, Bree." "She's in labor and you're making demands?" Morgan, this is why women don't trust men. I wasn't even in the group chat. They were screenshotting it and posting it to their Instagram stories. When I got home, I opened Instagram. Stephanie had posted from the hospital a photo of the baby, face partially hidden, with the caption, "When you realize some people were never who you thought already being the mom and dad to this angel." Single mom strength. Oddcott, know your worth. She deserves better. 480 likes in 30 minutes. The comments were brutal. You're so strong, mama. She doesn't need a man who doesn't see her worth. Literally, what is wrong with men? My DMs were full of strangers calling me a deadbeat. I texted Stephanie directly, "I'm not abandoning anyone. I love you, but I need certainty before signing legal documents. If she's mine, I'll be the best dad in the world. I just need the test." 3 dots appeared, disappeared, appeared again. Finally, real fathers don't need tests. You've shown your true colors, don't contact me again. My mum called. "Jake, Carol just called me. What's going on?" "Mom, I can't." She said you refused to sign the birth certificate, that you called Stephanie a liar in the delivery room. That's not what happened. I just asked for a paternity test before. A paternity test? Jake, why would you? She paused. Do you think? The timeline doesn't add up, Mom. And the baby doesn't look like either of us. Silence on the line. Mom? Your father wants to talk to you. Shuffling sounds. Then my dad's voice. Son, are you sure about this? I'm not wrong to ask for proof, Dad. That's literally all I'm asking for. More silence. Your mother's upset. Carol sent her some colourful messages, but son, if you're not sure, you're doing the right thing. Don't let anyone guilt you into signing legal documents when you have doubts. I almost cried. Thanks, Dad. But be prepared. This is going to get ugly. He wasn't wrong. Over the next 3 days, my Instagram DMs stayed flooded. Someone sent screenshots to my company's public page. My HR rep sent me a carefully worded email. Hey Jake, just checking in. Is everything okay? Stephanie's Venmo requests started appearing. Diapers since Jake won't help. Sent to my friends. Mike sent me a screenshot with the message, Bro, this is insane. I called him. Can you meet up? Yeah, I need to tell you something anyway. We met at our usual sports bar in LODO. Mike looked uncomfortable the second he sat down. What? I asked. He took a long drink of his beer. I should have told you this months ago. My stomach tightened. Tell me what? 9 months ago, that weekend Stephanie said she was at a yoga retreat. Yeah? I saw her. At the Hilton downtown. With a guy. The bar noise faded to background static. What guy? Derek, personal trainer at her gym. They dated for like 2 years before you. I couldn't breathe. Why didn't you tell me? She told me she was just picking up some stuff he had. She saw me in the lobby and came over, made this whole thing about how she was getting closure, and I shouldn't mention it to you because you'd misunderstand. I felt like an idiot bringing it up after that. Mike? I know. I'm sorry, man. But that timeline is exactly when she got pregnant. He nodded. I put my head in my hands. What does he look like? Mixed. Black dad, white mom, I think. Light brown skin, dark hair. Like the baby. I went home and opened my laptop. Started with Instagram. Stephanie's profile was public. I scrolled back 9 months. To that weekend she'd claimed to be at a yoga retreat. There, a photo of a bathtub with candles, expensive-looking bath products arranged aesthetically. Caption, sometimes you need to retreat and reset. Durst self-care non-nonc wellness. Geotag, Serenity Springs Spa and Retreat. I right-clicked the image, saved it, checked the metadata. The location data told a different story, coordinates that mapped to downtown Denver. Not the spa, not even close. I opened Venmo, searched Stephanie's public transactions. 8 months ago, a payment to someone named Derek Chen. Thanks for being there. My hands were shaking so badly I could barely type. I cross-referenced his Instagram. Derek Chen, 29, personal trainer at Lifetime Fitness, the gym Stephanie went to 5 days a week. His feed was exactly what you'd expect. Shirtless workout videos, protein shake sponsorships, motivational quotes over sunset photos. And there, if you scrolled back far enough, photos with Stephanie, date nights from 2 years ago, hiking photos, a couple's Halloween costume, then nothing for 10 months, right when she and I started dating. I drove to Stephanie's apartment. It was 9 p.m. Her car was in the lot. I texted, "I need to talk to you." I'm downstairs, no response. I called, straight to voicemail. I went up to her door and knocked. "Stephanie, I know you're in there. I need 5 minutes." Silence. "I know about Derek." The silence changed quality. She was there, listening. "Mike saw you, at the Hilton, 9 months ago." More silence. "Stephanie, just talk to me, please." Her voice came through the door, muffled. "I don't have to explain my past to you. This isn't about your past. This is about 9 months ago, during the conception window. We broke up a year ago. You were at a hotel with him 9 months ago." Long pause. I was getting closure. Picking up things he had. It's called emotional maturity, Jake. For a whole weekend. I don't owe you a minute-by-minute breakdown of my life. We weren't even that serious back then. You got pregnant back then. From you. God, this is so insulting. You'd rather believe I'm some cheater than accept that you're a father. Then take the test. Prove me wrong. If I'm the father, I'll sign the birth certificate tomorrow and pay for everything and apologize for the rest of my life. But you won't take the test, and that says everything. The door rattled like she'd hit it. You don't get to make demands. This is my daughter, my body, my decision. I don't need your approval or your validation or your fucking test. It's not about approval. It's about reality. The timeline doesn't work, Steph. We barely slept together that month. You needed space, remember? People get pregnant from one time, Jake. That's how biology works. Then prove it. No, I'm done with this conversation. If you contact me again, I'm filing a restraining order. For asking for a paternity test? For harassment. I stood there in the hallway, staring at her door. Derek's name is on the Venmo payment, I said quietly, from 8 months ago. Thanks for being there, with a heart emoji, no response. If he's just your ex that you got closure from, why were you still sending him money and heart emojis while you were pregnant? While we were together, I heard footsteps moving away from the door, a bedroom door closing. I left. The next morning, I called a family lawyer. Rita Gomez came recommended by a guy at work who'd been through a bad divorce. I need to file for a court-ordered paternity test, I told her. Is the mother refusing to cooperate? Completely. And you didn't sign the birth certificate? No. Good. Don't. Once you sign, you're legally responsible regardless of biology. She charged $3,500 up front. I put it on a credit card. 2 weeks later, Stephanie was served with papers. Petition for paternity testing and formal separation of assets. Her Instagram story that afternoon, a photo of legal documents blurred out, with the caption, "Can't believe I have to fight for my daughter's father to take responsibility. The courts will make him pay." Carol started a Facebook campaign, posted a long rant about deadbeat fathers, tagged me, tagged my parents, tagged my employer's public page, tagged mutual friends. My mum called crying. "Jake, Carol's friends are messaging me. They're saying horrible things." "I'm sorry, Mom." "But you're sure about the test?" "I'm sure I need the test. That's all I'm sure about." My dad got on the phone. "Don't apologize. If she has nothing to hide, she'd take the test and be done with it." Stephanie's lawyer sent a letter threatening child support claims. $1,400 a month based on my income, plus emotional distress damages. Rita's response was 2 sentences. Paternity must be established before support obligations. We'll see you in court. The hearing was set for 3 weeks out. The day came. I wore a suit. Rita told me to look calm and reasonable no matter what happened. Stephanie showed up with Carol, Ashley, and the baby in a carrier. She wore a dress that looked deliberately modest, hair pulled back, minimal makeup, playing the struggling single mother. We sat on opposite sides of the courtroom. She wouldn't look at me. Judge Martinez, a woman in her 50s with steel grey hair, reviewed the case files. Ms. Chen, you're refusing to submit to a paternity test. Can you explain why? Stephanie's lawyer stood. Your Honor, my client finds it deeply offensive and emotionally traumatic to have her integrity questioned during such a vulnerable time. Counsel, Judge Martinez interrupted, this is a simple question. Why not take the test? Stephanie stood. Because he should trust me, Your Honor. We were in a relationship. This is about control and punishment. Ms. Chen, the judge's voice was firm. If Mr. Morrison is the father, the test will prove it, and he'll be legally obligated to provide support. If he's not the father, this case ends. I don't see the issue. We're ordering the test. Stephanie's face went pale. She grabbed her lawyer's arm, whispered frantically. Her lawyer stood again. Your Honor, perhaps mediation would be more appropriate. No, we're testing. Both parties will submit DNA samples this week, results in 3 weeks. Next case. The gavel came down. Outside the courthouse, Stephanie tried to approach me. Jake, wait. I kept walking. I wasn't sure who. I thought maybe I needed you to be... I stopped, turned around. You needed me to be the father. Even if I wasn't. Her eyes filled with tears. You really would have abandoned her even if she was yours? Just because I wouldn't submit to your demands? I didn't abandon anyone. I asked for the truth. You're the one who refused to give it. I got in my car and drove away. 3 weeks felt like 3 years. The day the results came in, we were back in the same courtroom. Judge Martinez opened the envelope. Probability of paternity, 0.00%. Mr. Morrison is excluded as the biological father. Stephanie made a sound like she'd been punched. Carol gasped, hand over her mouth. The judge continued, the court orders a secondary test to identify the biological father. Ms. Chen, you'll need to provide a list of potential... Derek Chen, I said. Everyone looked at me. Personal trainer at Lifetime Fitness. They dated for 2 years. She was with him at a hotel 9 months before the birth. Judge Martinez looked at Stephanie. Is this accurate? Stephanie nodded, barely visible. We'll order Mr. Chen to submit a sample. Mr. Morrison, you're dismissed from this case. No parental obligations, no support requirements. Dissolution of relationship granted. I walked out of that courthouse a free man. The aftermath was quiet. No dramatic confrontation. Just silence. Ashley, Bree, and Morgan unfollowed Stephanie within days. Carol's Facebook posts disappeared. Every single one. Mutual friends sent careful, apologetic texts. Hey man, heard what happened. Sorry we believed the wrong version. Derek was confirmed as the father 2 weeks later. Last I heard, he's not with Stephanie. Has his name on the birth certificate, but they're not together. 6 months later, I'm doing okay. Dating again. Cautiously. Mike's wife set me up with her co-worker, Emma, a teacher, normal Instagram presence, 400 followers, mostly dog photos. We've been on 3 dates. I saw Stephanie's car at the Lifetime Fitness once. Kept driving. My brother texted me last week. Told you? Trust your gut next time. Last night, I was at a bar with Mike, laughing about something unrelated. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. Jake, it's Stephanie. Can we talk? I think I owe you... I deleted it without reading the rest. put the phone face down on the bar. "You good?" Mike asked. "Yeah," I said. "I'm good." And I meant it.